You know when someone gives you a piece of advice that sounds, well, simple, but you just don't really see the point? Today, we're jumping into a story that's about 2,500 years old, from the Kīṭāgirisutta, and it all kicks off with what seems like a small disagreement over when to eat dinner. But trust me, it unfolds into one of the deepest lessons on self-awareness you'll ever come across. Okay, let's get into it. So, let's set the scene. The Buddha is on the move, traveling through this ancient land of Kasi with a whole bunch of his followers. And as they're going from place to place, he's not just walking. He's constantly teaching, watching, and guiding his community. At one point, the Buddha shares some really practical advice. He basically says, look, I've stopped eating in the evening. And honestly, I feel better for it. Healthier, stronger, more at ease. You all should give it a try. For most of his followers, this is pretty straightforward. It's a simple instruction from their teacher, meant to help them out. But of course, it's never that simple, right? As they make their way to a town called Kīṭāgiri, this simple piece of health advice hits a major snag. See, in Kīṭāgiri, there's this group of monks, and their leaders are a couple of guys named Assaji and Punabasu. When they get wind of the Buddha's new no-eating-at-night rule, their response is basically, yeah, no thanks. They're just not interested in changing up their routine. And this is where things get really interesting. You've got the Buddhist followers who are following the rule, and they report feeling great. But then you have the Kīṭāgiri monks who are ignoring the rule, eating whatever they want, and they say they feel exactly the same. Healthy, strong, no problems whatsoever. Their whole argument boils down to this. They say, why on earth would we give up what we can directly experience, what we can feel right here, right now, for some rule where the benefit is supposed to be way down the line? They're putting their trust in their own immediate reality, not in some instruction they've been given. So, you gotta ask, right? Who's actually right here? If both groups feel perfectly fine, what's the problem? Is it the obedient followers or the monks who trust their own direct experience? This is where the whole story takes a sharp turn. Because when the Buddha hears about this disagreement, he doesn't get into a debate about who feels better after dinner. He completely changes the conversation. He calls Assaji and Punabasu to come see him, but instead of telling them off, he just reframes the entire problem. He's not interested in this surface-level debate about what feels good. He wants to go way deeper. And this is the absolute game changer. The Buddha asks them, look, does this action, this feeling, whether it's pleasant or painful, does it cause wholesome qualities to grow in you, or does it cause unwholesome qualities to grow? The question isn't, how do you feel? It's, what is this doing to you? So let's quickly break that down. Wholesome states, or kusala dhamma, are basically all the skillful mental qualities. Think of them as anything that leads to more wisdom, more clarity, more kindness, all the stuff that moves you toward freedom. And on the other side, you've got the unwholesome states, akusala dhamma. These are the unskillful ones that just get you into more trouble. We're talking about craving, anger, confusion, attachment. They're the things that cloud up your mind and create more problems. So the Buddha gives them this amazing framework for self-inquiry. It doesn't really matter if something feels good in the moment. The real test is its long-term impact. First, you experience something. Second, you analyze it. Is this helping or hurting my inner state? Then, if it's helping, you cultivate it. If it's hurting, you abandon it. It's an incredible tool for living more mindfully. But okay, does everyone really need to apply this intense level of scrutiny to every single thing they do? Well, the Buddha makes it clear that this kind of practice is especially crucial for people who are still on the path, still training. The key word here is appamamata. It gets translated as heedfulness or diligence, and this isn't just about paying casual attention. It's a relentless, careful, non-negligent focus on what's happening inside your own mind. It's basically the engine that drives all progress. And he makes this really important distinction. For an arahant, that's someone who is fully liberated, who's already reached the goal. The work is finished. They've made it. But for a sekha, a trainee, someone who is still striving, this kind of deep heedfulness is absolutely essential. It's how you get to the finish line. The Buddha even lays out these different stages of trainees. You've got the faith follower who's just starting out, all the way up to the body witness who is having profound meditative experiences. All these people are still a work in progress, and for every single one of them, this diligent self-analysis is the key to climbing that ladder towards liberation. And this brings us to the final and maybe most important part of the whole teaching.
This path, this climb up the ladder, it doesn't happen overnight. The Buddha is crystal clear about this. Ultimate knowledge, or anya, isn't some sudden lightning bolt of insight that comes from nowhere. No, it's the result of gradual training, gradual practice, and a gradual path. You have to put in the work. And he describes this process so beautifully. It all starts with a little faith. That faith leads you to find a teacher. You listen to them, you remember what they taught, and then you examine it all for yourself. And it's through that personal examination that insight finally starts to bubble up. That insight then fuels your motivation and your effort to keep going. It's this amazing self-reinforcing cycle. And for anyone who's on a tough journey, whether it's a spiritual one or any big goal in life, the Buddha offers these words of just incredible determination. This is the mindset of someone who is truly dedicated, a promise to keep going no matter how hard it gets, to not stop until the goal is reached. It's a powerful statement about what human persistence can achieve. So after all that, this ancient story leaves us with a really modern question. The monks in Kīṭāgiri, they chose what felt good in the moment. The Buddha challenged them to look deeper, to ask what was good in the long run. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What in your life feels good right now, but might actually be getting in the way of where you really want to go?